the church was when communities did not have a whole lot of places that they could go that held a lot of people.
Yeah.
This is where people would meet.
Exactly.
They would meet in churches. Church was a community center, a meeting place, right? And so, you know, the programs you would have at church, right? In many cases, in very small communities, baccalaureate, right? And graduation. They would have the ceremony at church, right? Church was that community hub. And so it makes sense that there is this twisted, I would say this twisted stream of church and blues music.
Well, most
right?
gospel music has the same 8 bars
Does.
that everything else has.
That's
You
right.
know, because they be playing at church, I be like, I know that song, but the words is a little different, you know what I'm saying?
If you hear some blues,
That's
you're
right.
like, I know that.
Because you know something, because the Staples sing, do, 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 yeah, all.
But
do,
they come from a
do,
gospel
do,
background.
but listen, what song you hear in your head? Do, do,
I take
do,
you
do,
there.
but check this out.
Gospel.
I will bless the Lord at all times.
Oh, yeah.
He's good. Yeah. 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 I will bless the Lord at all times. He's good.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the gospel side.
And that's the
Then
gospel
other
side.
side is, I know a
Please.
place. Ain't nobody crying.
Ain't nobody's crying.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody's worrying.
That's right. I'll take you there.
Ain't no smiling faces.
Same thing. Same thing. And that's it. You hear this. And so you hear this same, right?
Same beat.
So they sisters and brothers actually when you look at it.
Exactly.
It's not.
They just changed the word like Ray Charles did.
That's all.
What she talking about? I know you ain't playing that. But B say, I know you ain't changing that gospel song.
Because it was too many crossovers. It was too many gospel singers that crossed over to blues, including my whole family. They was gospel singers, 16 of them. Granddaddy carved all their instruments. They sung at the circus. They sung at different things that was going on. But my daddy and his brothers, his 3 brothers, Tommy, Liddell, Clarence, and Major. One day they decided with more money on the other side of the fence.
Well, see, in church they want to pay you with a chicken, baby.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
So where they get your money?
He went across the fence, and when they went across the fence, they stayed across the fence.
Because we saw for chickens a long time.
We used to be at church.
A chicken dump. I'm serious though.
But we used to be at church. We used to be at church.
We gonna feed you.
And my daddy would never sit in the middle, sit at the front. He'd sneak in the back and sit at the back.
You got the back down.
And when the service was over, you didn't see that scowl no more till you got on because he was playing the blues.
Yeah, but part of this is about, again, this goes back to that economic picture, right?
Exactly.
And so of people trying to provide for their families and trying to feed their children and pay their bills and whatever.
And that's why a lot of bluesmen don't own the rights to their music.
That's right.
Because they looked at that dollar to feed their families.
Rather than
I want to buy your song. And you know, they didn't know anything about copyright right then or this, that, and the other. But they was trying to feed their family. The kids was hungry. Yeah.
Wake up on that one.
Go ahead.
Because I have fought this battle, man, Carroline. When I was from my grandfather's rights, I discovered that there's a law, especially in Mississippi. I don't know, my grandfather he came home. He was in D.C. If he had passed away in D.C., it would be totally different. It was like, oh my goodness, there's a law that they have in Mississippi, and it's crazy. The law says that if your children precede you in death, you don't own any rights at all. None. And so my father passed away 6 months before their granddaughter. His daughter passed away long before I was born. So it was 14 of us, and my aunt had 2 children, so it was 16 people, and no rights at all, none whatsoever. And Tom Huston owned 100% of my grandfather's rights, 100%. And had my grandmother had passed away because she was really married to my grandfather. She was able to adopt us back as far as our rights. Otherwise, 100%. And even with I went out with the state Supreme Court, and Tom Hostin had a sister. He had no children, and he owned 100% of my grandfather's rights. 100%. And because my grandmother was still living, she was able to adopt us back and give us some of our rights. And the judge said, you know what, this guy does such a good job with sustaining this guy. You will give her, she can have 50%. Didn't even know my grandfather at all. And so, and this is the crazy part about it is that Tom Hostin was able to will my grandfather's rights to his sister. And we are the legal heirs, and we weren't able to get in there. We had to fight for those rights. 50%.
But see, you know, they have this thing after it lays in eminent domain so long that you lose is what they tell you these things. But you have to be persistent when you got a passion, and when you know you right, and you know everybody else is wrong. You got to go get them. You got to tell them, we coming.
That's it.
I don't know how.
That's it.
I don't know when, and I don't know where. But we coming because we're not going to give up.
That's
You
it.
got to fight for what you know is right.
Girl, I could just kiss you.
And that has to do with the place that
And that's
people
the
were
truth.
in
Yeah,
legally.
that's the truth.
Right, both financially and legally, where they did not have, second-class citizenship meant second class in every
And
aspect,
every
right?
this.
And so legally, the idea of equal protection, right, by the law, that's supposedly enshrined in the 14th Amendment, and equal rights before the law, right, that again supposedly enshrined in the 14th Amendment. What was unfortunate was that did not apply to black people.
No, it did not.
The law did not
today.
protect
No.
black people the
Still
same,
doesn't.
Back then.
and they
Still
did not
doesn't.
have the same standing
Still doesn't.
That's right.
before the law,
Yes.
right? And so these interests, if they're more powerful, then people lost what was rightfully theirs, and they lost their right to their legacy.
Exactly.
And that is something that's important for us to think about, right? As we're thinking about these the legacies that these people are carrying. And so, when did you? And this is the segue. When did you think about your legacy, right? When did you first, start to think about, and what made you start to really take your legacy to heart?
Okay, what happened with
Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
you want to talk to us about it? Well, what happened with me was I got mad as hell. I was mad. I'm just to tell the truth, I was mad. Because I had seen my father and his brothers struggle, like she said, trying to make ends meet, telling the story about Tommy Johnson, telling me you look like him, you act like him, you should have been his child. Then being born on the day that he died, a couple of years later. As I got older, I started doing research on my own. But my father would always take me to this cemetery. And he said, they won't let us in here. They said that it's an eminent domain and we can't go in here and visit our own mama and daddy grave. And this is where your Uncle Tommy is buried. Okay, that was the first strike. Okay. Then the second thing was that as I got older, I started doing some more research. And then I found out that Tommy Johnson couldn't even talk. He stuttered. Only time you could understand what he was saying was when he was singing. Could not read and could not write. But all these people, Jimmy Rogers, Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, all these people been around him, Howlin' Wolf, Sonny Boy Edwards, the man Prime Top Perkins, and all these people have been around this man, and then he got nothing. They said he signed his rights away with an X. And I was like, how do you do that? How do you sign your rights with an X? They don't know your name with an X. So then I got mad, and I started digging. And the more I did, the madder I got. And the more I dug, the more I dug up. Mm-hmm. The more I really became to realize who I am and what I am and whose I am. I had said all my life, I was born into royalty. You don't know nothing about me.
What purpose you become
And I was like, I was saying this at 6 and 7, but I really didn't even know what I was saying myself, but it really was the truth. I was the one that was designated to do this because I was the one had the passion for history. I love history. I know more of my family history than anybody in my entire family. But I got mad because he was not treated right. He didn't have the rights to any of his music. Nobody was getting anything from him. Other people was capitalizing off his name, off his story. They was getting money that wasn't theirs. And I just got mad because I have a passion for music. I went to college on a music scholarship, but was in a very serious accident and it injured my vocal cords. My daddy didn't let us touch a guitar. He said, I do not want you all to touch a guitar, and I don't want you to marry a guitar playing man. No. He said, because they ain't no good. He said, get you a man that's smart and that's got the same vision that you got and understand you and you understand them. So my passion and my legacy was already laid out for me with Tommy Johnson. I am the voice. I am the legacy of Tommy Johnson. And I accept that. I took that up on my shoulder and up on my back. I said, Lord, now I don't know, but you ain't did all this for no reason. And you ain't put me in this place for no reason. When I started doing the research, like I said, the more I dug, the more I found out. He didn't have anything. He died with a broken heart because he was ouched. He was ouched because he couldn't read. He didn't understand contracts. He didn't have nobody there to tell him, don't sign this and don't do this. Yeah. But when you don't know, people will do whatever they want to you. So then I dug, and I kept on digging. I did the foundation. I didn't stop there. I kept on digging. I went on and got his royalties coming. And then I dug a little bit further and went on and got some highways names. Got him on some blues trail markers. I said, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to do everything I can because you got to realize that you got to have a passion for your legacy. Everybody in your family don't care about what your folks done.
But they sitting there waiting on the handout.
He sent one person. If you don't send one, he sent 2 or 3.
That's it.
And it's left up to you to pick up yours.
That's it.
Pick up your cross and walk with it because it was already designed there for me. But what made me go at it, as they said, go get it, was because I got mad. Because he wasn't the only one that had been taken so much advantage of. And the music, I went online and I was looking at how they was downloading the beats and all the different things that they was doing with the music. And I'm like, they're doing all of this and they ouched him, but they want his music. That's not right either. It's not right when it comes to the grants and everything else that goes along with blues and music. But that's when I knew that this was what I'm just like Tommy Johnson. He said he went to the crossroad, he met a man, gave him his guitar, he played a song, gave it back to him. He said that's when I knew I had sold my soul to the devil because I was going to be playing this from now on. But that's when I knew that I was going to be carrying on the legacy of my family and my ancestors, Tommy Johnson, in which I had no clue. I was a glamour girl flying all over the world doing everything. I had no clue. I be sitting on the stage talking to y'all about no blues. But I'm glad that I took charge of the legacy and what God put in my mind and put in my heart. Because nobody else in my family, they thought I had lost my mind. They church-going folks. And they thought I had lost my mind. They said, we don't do blues. You don't do blues? Blues and gospel is hand in hand.
They do it. They might not let you see them doing it, but they do.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
that
know what you're saying.
It was nobody wanted to pursue and pick up work.
But they want to know what you done learned, who getting this, and where it's coming from, and
where
they
it's going.
part.
That's right. As we all do.
You see what I'm
I mean,
saying?
that's nature.
That's part.
That's, that's nature. You know, once you get it going, it's been 20 years for me. Once you get it going and you sink all your resources into it, then everybody want to be
They wait on the come. They wait on the
Everybody want to be
I'm
served.
coming.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do nothing to work now.
They're not going to work.
I'm coming back around.